More women are leaving the workforce. Since the beginning of the year, more than 200,000 women have quit their jobs. Meanwhile, more than 44,000 men joined the workforce. Most women who are leaving are mothers with young children. Now, many are choosing instead to stay home with their kids. Local News Live's Libby Randall spoke to a mom in Iowa about why she resigned.
There you go. There you go.
Mackenzie Brugge originally thought she would be back at work this fall, but after giving birth to her second son, she started to crunch the numbers to pay for daycare.
When we did that, I was like, this does not make sense.
The Economic Policy Institute says the average daycare for one child costs $10,000. Brugge's paycheck would barely cover the cost of childcare for just one of her kids. So the Brugges considered an alternate route.
What if we just didn't? Like, what are all of our bills? And what if we just, I quit, let's take mine out of the equation. And we're like, this is so weird. It would not make sense to continue work just to send a kid away.
Brugge gave her 2 weeks notice and became a full-time stay-at-home mom in August. And she's far from alone. A University of Kansas study of federal data found more than 400,000 mothers of children under 5 left the workforce in just the first half of this year. University of Iowa economist Dr. Beth Livingston says that has consequences for both the economy and the individual.
You want to think about the impact not only individually and that year, in that month, of the cost of childcare, what the long-term cost of removing yourself from the workforce might be for your future lifetime earnings, as well as for just your psychological well-being in terms of how challenged you feel, how fulfilled you feel.
Brugge says that's exactly what she considered, finding fulfillment in staying at home with her 2 boys and growing with them.
So I don't see myself going back in the same fashion that I was before.
In West Branch, Libby Randall, KCRG TV9 News.
And to have a deeper discussion about this issue, Melissa Franks joins us. She's a former C-suite executive and founder of On Call COO. Melissa, thank you for joining us. I want to ask you about the cost of child care, as that was a big point of that story. It's a big factor for many women leaving the workforce, it seems, but also far from the only one. What are some other reasons why women are choosing to leave?
That is such a great question. And childcare is just a component of the entire landscape for female workers. The pay gap is actually widening for the first time in decades, which means women are earning less on the dollar. So when they're taking a look at if it makes sense for their family for them to stay in the workforce, often what they're finding is that the earning potential that they have, it isn't as great as it once was. And so when you combine that with a phenomenon called quiet promotion, where women are asked to take on more work to prove that they're ready for the promotion, they're exhausted and they're looking for alternatives.
Melissa, if you could snap your fingers and fix maybe 1 or 2 things that's leading women to leave the workforce, what would you do?
At the top of the list is flexibility. It's really offering alternative ways of working, whether that's job share or it's a little bit more remote work. What women are finding is that they are choosing the entrepreneurial space at a rate that far exceeds what we've ever seen before. 50% of small businesses that were opened last year were by women. It's a 69% increase over 2019. And the reason for that is because they believe that the earning potential is better. They're going to be able to choose how they spend their time, because now they're supporting not only their children, also their aging parents, and they're seeking out flexibility. If employers could solve that problem, they would retain significantly more women in the conventional workforce.
And finally, Melissa, what's your advice to women balancing childcare, maybe even helping aging parents, as you mentioned, and that working life?
The key to all of this is open communication. At the end of the day, everybody wants to do a great job at work. And the best way for you to do a great job at work every day is to share with your manager and your coworkers the things that you're balancing. You'd be surprised at how people can step up and get creative once you make the challenges known. Having open two-way dialogue is going to be the key to success for anybody that is still going to their 9 to 5 every day and juggling it all behind the scenes.
It seems like great advice. Melissa, thank you. Always appreciate it.